The turning point when she misses you most, psychology tricks. There's a point she never expects. A quiet second in her day when the truth finally hits her. You're not just gone for now, you might really be gone. Sometimes you don't know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Dr. Seuss. At first, she feels certain she made the right call. She walks away with her head high, telling herself she's in control, that you'll chase like you always have, that your presence was convenient, not special. But time does something she didn't plan for. The silence doesn't shrink, it expands. Your absence stops feeling like a break and starts feeling like a hole. That's when the shift happens. It's no longer just a little quiet in her life. It becomes a weight on her chest and a thought she can't shake. What if he's not coming back this time? In this video, we're going to break down why that moment hits so hard, the psychology behind it, and how staying calm, grounded, and stoic makes her feel your loss even more, even if she'd never admit it out loud. Before we get into it, do one quick thing for me. Tap the like button, subscribe if you're new here, and drop a comment so you can be part of the conversation. All right, let's jump in. 1. The distance she didn't expect. The real turning point, the one she never saw coming, begins the moment your constant presence quietly slips out of her daily rhythm because she truly believed you'd always be there, answering on time, reacting on cue, showing up with the reliability she treated like oxygen. Don't assume she notices it instantly. She doesn't. It's subtle at first, like a shift in temperature she can't name, but it rattles her more than she'll ever admit, because this distance wasn't rehearsed in her mind. Don't misinterpret this move as punishment or manipulation. Be smarter than that. Be disciplined. A high-value man understands that real strength isn't in chasing, pleading, or responding to every emotional twitch. That is the difference between reaction and mastery. You must remember what Marcus Aurelius taught. Calmness in the storm is real power, and that's exactly what you broadcast without saying a word. Yesterday, she posted something, maybe a photo polished for your attention, maybe a caption dripping with hidden meaning, maybe a subtle invitation disguised as just another update, and normally, you'd have thrown her a like, a comment, a quick message, anything to signal that she still had her hooks in you. But this time, nothing, not even a flicker. Hours melt into a day, then into another, and she tries to shrug it off with a casual, "It doesn't matter." But don't be fooled. It does matter, and that unsettled feeling blooms beneath her confidence like a spark she can't stamp out. Suddenly, the question she never expected to ask begins creeping in. Why isn't he responding? Did I lose the attention I thought was guaranteed? That's the exact second the shift begins. What she once treated as an overflowing resource, your presence, your attention, your steady masculine energy, no longer sits at arm's reach, and that scarcity hits her harder than any declaration ever could. Don't misunderstand what's happening here. In her world, most men scramble to fill silence, drowning her in reassurance, chasing faster the moment they sense distance. You don't. That is the quiet mark of a high-value man. You choose composure over chaos. You choose intention over impulse. Epictetus said freedom lives in self-control, and you embody that truth with each deliberate pause, each moment you let the space breathe without rushing to close it. Be aware of this. It's in that gap, the gap she never expected, that her emotions begin to swell because you're no longer giving your attention away like loose change. She begins to feel your absence, not because you begged for recognition or tried to attract women by performing, but because you stopped offering your presence so freely, and now she must confront what it means to crave something she once assumed would always be hers. That is where your masculine energy becomes undeniable. She doesn't simply notice your silence. She feels it, like a new presence replacing the old pattern, forcing her into introspection she didn't plan on doing. What was once endless now feels rare. What was once guaranteed now feels earned. And that rarity imprints itself on her mind in a way that makes you unforgettable. Not because you tried harder, but because you finally stopped trying at all. Don't break the moment by over-explaining. Don't dilute it by rushing back in. Be patient. Be grounded. A high-value man doesn't beg, doesn't chase, and doesn't crumble under pressure. Instead, he stands firm in the kind of quiet confidence that naturally attracts women without lifting a finger. Your calm detachment says more than any long message ever could. It tells her you're not a man who moves on command. It tells her you're not fueled by insecurity. It tells her that your masculine energy operates from a place of strength, not scarcity. And that is the moment, the exact turning point, when she begins to wonder if she misread your devotion, misjudged your patience, or misunderstood your depth. Don't underestimate how powerful that realization is for her. When she finally notices the void you left behind, she's not simply missing your presence. She's facing the truth that she never valued it properly until it was gone. That is why the distance she didn't expect becomes the lesson she needed. And that is why your restraint, your serenity, your unshakable groundedness becomes the quiet force that shifts the entire dynamic. Your silence doesn't scream. It doesn't punish. It simply stands tall, radiating the confidence of a man who knows exactly who he is, and that is what makes you unforgettable. 2. The echo of routine broken. She feels it most when the routines vanish. You know, the simple things. The good morning texts, the check-ins, those quick calls that once filled the air with comfort and connection. Gone. The moment those little gestures fade away, so does the rhythm of your relationship, and with it, something unexpected happens. She starts to miss you in a way she never expected. Marcus Aurelius, that Stoic philosopher, told us life is in constant change. It's inevitable, it's universal. But change doesn't always come easily, and it certainly doesn't feel the same for everyone. When those small routines disappear, it shakes her more than it might seem on the surface. Because here's the truth, those things weren't just part of a daily checklist. They were proof of your care. They were reminders, tiny signals that you were thinking about her. And now, when you stop, it isn't about anger. It isn't about revenge. It's about you reclaiming your time, your energy, and your space. But ironically, it's in this moment of reclaiming that she starts to realize just how much she depended on you. She didn't even know it at first. At first, she cherished those moments, the texts, the calls, the connection. But over time, the rhythm you created became as natural as breathing. It became an expectation. It became assumed. And then, one night, you stop calling. The next night, no text. 2 nights go by, and suddenly, the silence is deafening. It isn't the absence of words that hurts her. It's the absence of your presence. It's the stillness that takes over where your voice used to be. Her mind starts to replay the moments that now feel like they're slipping away. Your voice, your reassurance, your consistency. She realizes something crucial. All those little routines weren't just noise. They weren't just background filler. They were the anchor she didn't even realize she was relying on. And then the drifting starts. Slowly, imperceptibly at first. But eventually, it hits her. She misses you. Not because you're actively reminding her of your absence, but because you've stopped. And that's what makes her long for you the most. That's where the turning point begins. Let's talk about this for a second. The power of silence isn't some dramatic, over-the-top emotional act. It's subtle. It's quiet. It doesn't scream. It lingers. And that, my friend, is where the magic happens. By simply stepping back, by refraining from doing what she expected, you've done something remarkable. You've shown her that you're in control of you, your choices, your discipline, your presence. This is where Stoicism meets the art of attraction. Epictetus taught us that we can't control others, only ourselves. So when you decide to stop being the one to bridge the silence, you're not manipulating her feelings. You're simply showing her what happens when you're not around. Ironically, this very thing, your absence, your space, makes her realize that she wants you around more. Why? Because she's no longer taking you for granted. It's not about begging for her attention or trying to force a response out of her. It's about letting her see the absence of something she once took for granted. And that absence? That's when she starts to miss you more than ever before. Here's the truth: psychology tricks work. They don't need to be manipulative or underhanded. They're simply grounded in human nature. Women, just like men, are wired to seek connection, comfort, and consistency. And when those things fade, it triggers a deep-seated longing. In female psychology, the lack of reassurance, the gap in routine, becomes something far more powerful than you might realize. She starts to crave how to fall in love with you again, not because of what you do, but because of what you no longer do. When you step back, she's left in that space where the silence lives. And in that silence, she's forced to confront her feelings, her desires, and the loss she feels. It's here, in this quiet turning point, that her feelings for you shift. She begins to want you, not because of constant reassurance, but because she now understands the true value of your presence. So here's the big takeaway: don't chase her. Don't explain yourself. Don't force an explanation for why you stopped doing the little things. Instead, let the absence speak for itself. Let the silence do the talking. That's where you'll see the true power of absence. It's in those moments when you've removed the routine she took for granted that her longing will grow stronger. Don't be afraid of the silence. Embrace it. Because, trust me, it's not just the loud moments that make an impact. It's the quiet ones. It's when the routine is broken that she starts to see everything for what it truly is. Have you ever noticed how the smallest routines, those things you thought were insignificant, sting the most when they're gone? The truth is, the smallest gestures often have the most profound effect on her emotions. They may seem like small things, but when they're gone, they leave an emptiness that echoes. That is the real power of silence. And this, my friend, is exactly where the turning point begins. When you stop being predictable, when you stop following the same routine, that's when she starts to realize what she's been missing all along. If this resonates with you, don't just sit there. Hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, or simply type "My silence speaks louder." It's time to embrace the power of absence and see what happens next. Trust me, it's going to change everything. If this resonates with you, don't just let it pass by. Like, comment, and share this video with someone who could benefit from this powerful insight. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom on mastering the art of attraction and understanding female psychology. Comment to remember: I embrace the power of my absence. This simple yet profound statement reminds you of the power you hold when you step back and allow the silence to speak for itself. Comment below to let us know you're ready to tap into this transformation. 3. The curiosity that turns heavy. The curiosity begins innocently enough. At first, it's a light thought, almost playful. What's he up to? Why hasn't he replied yet? It seems harmless, a fleeting question that will soon fade into the background. But as time passes, that curiosity transforms. It gains weight, becoming a presence that she cannot ignore. The phone remains in her hand longer than usual. Notifications come through, but none are from you. The silence stretches, feels unbearable. What started as a passing thought now feels urgent, pressing, unsettling. This is the turning point when she starts to feel your absence the most. Human nature is wired to detest uncertainty. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that a wise man doesn't fight uncertainty. He embraces it because he understands not everything is within his control. And while you may embrace this mindset, she does not. She craves clarity, certainty, reassurance. She is accustomed to knowing where she stands with you. Your detachment, your calm refusal to rush to fill the gaps, creates a void. And this silence? It becomes her battleground. Without your steady presence, her imagination runs wild, and rarely does it offer kindness in the midst of doubt. She reflects on the past, those moments when your replies came quickly, when late-night calls were given, when she never once doubted that her message would be answered without delay. Now, in this moment of absence, the memories clash with the present reality. She begins to wonder, where are you? What are you doing without her? Has he moved on? Is he with someone else? Or worse, has he simply realized he doesn't need me anymore? These questions, though unspoken, cut deeper than any words you could say. For you, the silence is light. It's not a punishment, not a game, it's control. You've chosen to redirect your focus on your work, your growth, your purpose. But for her, it's a different story. In the calm of your silence, she is consumed by her own uncertainty. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This moment is a perfect embodiment of that principle. While you remain at peace in your routine, she is tortured by what ifs, by the weight of her own thoughts. That's the power of your detachment. What seems small to you, simply choosing not to rush to respond, becomes monumental to her. It forces her to confront the reality that perhaps her place in your life was never as secure as she believed. It's in that shift, in that very silence, that she begins to miss you most. This is the heart of Stoic wisdom, of iron mind discipline. True strength is found in control over oneself, not in reaction to others. You must remain steadfast. Do not falter under the weight of others' expectations. A Stoic win isn't found in constant validation or in the approval of others. It is found in mastering your own actions, controlling your reactions, and embracing the discomfort that naturally comes with uncertainty. Remember this: you are the architect of your own peace. Never let the actions or emotions of others control your state of mind. Instead, follow the timeless Old Stoic wisdom. Your response to external events defines your inner world. Let it guide you. In doing so, you'll create an unshakable foundation, your iron mind, that allows you to be fully present in your life without needing to be tethered to the distractions of others. So when she misses you, know this: it is the absence you've created that holds the greatest power. Don't rush to fill the silence. Instead, let it work in your favor. This is the art of control, of command over your own emotional landscape. The more you master it, the more you will find that others, especially her, will miss you most in the quiet spaces you leave behind. 4. The nighttime reckoning. The turning point in the dynamic between you and her comes when the night falls. It's during those late hours that the weight of missing you truly hits. By day, she can still fool herself. She's busy at work, chatting with friends, scrolling through her social media, acting like everything is fine. These distractions serve as a shield, protecting her from the raw truth. But as the world grows quiet and the soft light from her phone is the only thing lighting up the room, that protection vanishes. Suddenly, there's nothing left to guard her from the crushing realization that you're not there. Your absence, which she could avoid during the day, now presses down on her harder than she ever anticipated. This is the moment when her imagination takes over. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This rings true for her as she starts to spiral. Reality is simple: you're living your life, detached and calm, choosing to focus on yourself. But in her mind, everything gets complicated. Her imagination runs wild, churning with questions that refuse to be quieted. Is he with someone else? Did I lose him forever? Does he even think about me anymore? Each unanswered question is like a storm inside her, growing louder by the second. Picture her lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, the phone tightly gripped in her hand. She's scrolling through old conversations with you, rereading those goodnight texts, playing the voice memos you sent when she couldn't sleep. At the time, these moments felt insignificant, almost routine. But now, they burn with a different kind of intensity because they're gone. The absence of those small gestures, those late-night texts, the comfort of your steady presence is deafening in its silence. She might try to distract herself by playing music or scrolling through her apps, but even in the noise, she can feel the quiet between you. That's when everything shifts. What was once mere curiosity becomes a deep longing. What was longing turns into a gnawing anxiety, and what used to be routine now feels like an irreplaceable piece of her life. Here's the twist: while she tosses and turns in restlessness, you, as a high-value man, remain steady. You've mastered the art of self-control. You've learned to let your emotions rest and not act on every impulse. You're not silent to punish her. Instead, you've chosen stillness to protect your peace. You sleep easy because you've embraced the Stoic philosophy that Marcus Aurelius taught, living according to nature, accepting that not everything is in your control. You can control your choices, your presence, your time. But she, in this quiet moment of reflection, starts to understand just how deeply your choices affect her. It's in the silence that her heart realizes the full weight of losing you, the man who no longer chases, the man who has embraced his masculine energy, unshaken by the emotions that once dictated her world. This is the turning point. It's not in the daylight when she can pretend that everything is fine. No, it's in the solitude of the night, when her imagination takes over and the lack of your presence hits her like a tidal wave. While you breathe deeply and sleep, calm and unaffected, her mind is wide awake, replaying every moment she thought she understood about you. In those dark, lonely hours, your absence becomes louder than any argument could. Your stillness, your calm presence, though absent from her life, feels more overwhelming than words ever could. And in that midnight reckoning, as she lies awake wondering what went wrong, she comes to understand something she may never have realized before: the gravity of losing a high value man who has learned not to chase, but to choose. That's when the truth sinks in, deeper than any distraction could shield her from. If you found this insight valuable, comment below and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember, I am a high-value man, grounded in my masculine energy. Let it sink in and watch how it shifts your mindset. 5. The comparison she can't stop making. She meets new men. She chats with old friends. She scrolls through social media trying to distract herself, but none of them feel like you. It's not that she doesn't try. She tells herself, maybe this guy will be different. Maybe this one will make me forget. But here's the truth. The calm confidence you carried, the way you didn't need her validation, the steady presence you gave without clinging, those qualities are rare. And when something rare is gone, the absence becomes louder with every attempt to replace it. Epictetus said that value lies in what cannot be easily replaced. And now she's living that lesson in real time. Imagine her on a date with someone new. At first, it feels exciting. The guy is talkative. He compliments her. He leans in with eagerness. But then comes the moment she didn't expect, the pause, the silence between words. That's when she feels the difference. He's anxious, waiting for her reaction, searching for approval in her eyes. You never did that. You were composed, collected, and unshaken by whether she approved or not. And right there, mid-conversation, she can't help but compare. She remembers how your calm made her feel safe, how your stillness made her curious, how your silence carried more weight than most men's speeches. This is the turning point when she misses you most. Because her comparisons aren't just casual, they're constant. Every time another man falls short, your presence grows stronger in her memory. She might not say it out loud, but inside she feels it. You've set a standard she can't lower again. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that what's truly valuable is rare by nature, and that's why it commands respect. Your discipline, your refusal to be ordinary, your quiet self-mastery, all of that becomes a mirror she holds against every man she meets. And each time the reflection reminds her that you are not easily replaced. And here's where it hits hardest, when she least expects it. Maybe she's laughing at a joke someone else tells, but suddenly she notices it doesn't land the same way. Maybe she's walking home after a night out, and instead of feeling fulfilled, she feels a knowing emptiness. That's when the comparison sharpens. That's when she understands that others might entertain her, but only left an imprint that still lingers. A Stoic man doesn't compete for attention. He leaves behind a presence so grounded and disciplined that it continues to echo long after he's gone. Take a second right now. Hit the like button if this is giving you clarity, and drop a comment below sharing your thoughts. Or if you want to keep it simple, just type rare value can't be replaced. That way I know you're locked in with me, and we can keep building this community together as we step into the next turning point. 6. The mirror of her choices. When a woman begins to question the choices she made, she finds herself staring into the mirror of her decisions. It's in those quiet moments of solitude that she starts replaying the small things she once dismissed, times when she pulled away or assumed you'd always be there. Maybe it was the night she ignored your message, thinking there would always be time to reply. Or the day she brushed off your effort to connect, believing you'd always return. At the time, those actions seemed insignificant, just fleeting moments, a shrug, a simple assumption that you'd always be within reach. But as the days stretch on and your silence takes the place of the comfort she once took for granted, those moments grow heavier. They replay in her mind like a movie she can't stop, and suddenly, what seemed harmless becomes the mistake that opened the door to losing you. In that moment, the difference between a man of Stoic wisdom and one who is not becomes clear. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest minds in Stoicism, teaches that we must not be distracted by the past or worried about the future. We must focus on the present, acting with justice, love, and clarity. You, the man who follows the path of Stoicism, don't chase after ghosts. You don't linger in regret. You look forward with iron mind and an unwavering will. You act decisively in the present, knowing that your strength lies not in clinging to what has passed, but in shaping what comes next. While she looks in the mirror and sees regret staring back at her, you look in yours and see a man moving forward, calm, steady, and free. The contrast is painful for her because her choices have led her here, to the haunting realization that she let you go. She might be out with friends, laughing, scrolling through her phone, pretending that your absence doesn't matter. But then, something small happens, someone mentions your name, or she stumbles upon an old photo of the two of you. Suddenly, the facade cracks. Her smile falters, her chest tightens, and she feels the echo of her own decisions. The questions begin to flood her mind, not because you reminded her of anything, but because your absence forced her to sit with them. What if she hadn't pulled away? What if she had treated you differently? That's the cruel reality of choices. They don't go away. They demand to be faced. And here's where the irony hits hardest. She thought that by distancing herself, she would gain power over you. She believed you would wait, bend, or even chase to bridge the gap she created. But by doing the opposite, by not chasing, not begging, not clinging, you revealed something far more powerful, a man of unshakable strength. Epictetus, another great Stoic philosopher, said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." When applied to relationships, this wisdom reveals why she misses you now more than ever. Your lack of need is your true wealth. You no longer need her validation, her responses, or her attention. And that reality is more unsettling than anything she ever imagined. As each day passes, the mirror of her choices grows heavier. What she once believed was confidence now feels like doubt. What she once thought was control now feels like loss. Meanwhile, you continue on your path. You focus on working on yourself, protecting your peace, and living as a man who governs his own time. You are the master of your own destiny. She, however, is still stuck in the reflection of what she gave up. This is the turning point, the moment when her missing you shifts from a fleeting curiosity to something far deeper, more painful, and harder to ignore. That's when she realizes the cost of her choices was far greater than she ever anticipated. The truth begins to settle in her heart. She let a man of Stoic wisdom slip away, and now she's left with the emptiness of what could have been. And as we move forward, ask yourself this: have you ever witnessed someone living in the shadow of their own choices? Perhaps you've seen it in a friend or, even more painfully, experienced it yourself. Regret doesn't scream at you. It whispers, lingers, and grows louder in silence. Take this to heart. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to reflect on your own strength. Silence is your weapon. The power lies not in the noise of chasing or begging, but in the peace of being a man who controls his own life. Let your silence speak volumes. Your iron mind, fortified by Old Stoic wisdom, is your greatest ally. The turning point is here, and it's time to own it. Don't let anyone distract you from your purpose. You must move forward, because the path of Stoicism is not for the weak. It's for those who understand that true power comes from within, from the mastery of the self, and from living a life of decisive action and unwavering focus. Don't wait for anyone to understand your worth. Keep moving. Keep mastering. That is how you win. 7. The return of respect. Respect is a tricky thing, especially when it comes to relationships. Ironically, the more you pull back, the more she'll start to respect you. That's right. By stepping away and giving her the space she didn't know she needed, You reveal the true essence of your masculinity. You see, she notices that you don't chase, beg, or crumble in front of her. Instead, you stand tall, grounded, and in control of yourself. This quiet, self governing strength sends a powerful message. It says you're not a man who relies on anyone to feel whole, and that is the key that unlocks respect in her eyes. In the world of Stoicism, self mastery is seen as the highest form of strength, and this is exactly what she begins to recognize in you. When you stop striving to prove your worth, when you stop fighting to be understood, you are no longer just another man trying to earn her affection. No, you become something far more powerful, a high value man who is comfortable in his own skin and at peace with who he is. And that calm certainty, that unwavering confidence, shifts the power dynamic completely. At first, she may have thought your silence was a phase, maybe even a game you were playing. She could have seen it as weakness, thinking you were too proud to approach her. But here's where it all changes. As the days pass and you don't crumble, she begins to see something new. She sees a man who has stopped chasing after her, a man who is no longer emotionally dependent on her. You've shifted from waiting at her doorstep to living your own life. You're focused on your health, your work, your peace of mind, things that actually matter. She might see photos of you hanging out with friends, maybe hear through mutual circles that you're thriving. And slowly, the script flips. She no longer sees the man who fell apart when she walked away. Now she sees the man who stayed steady, who maintained his dignity. This realization cuts deep. It forces her to ask herself why she ever underestimated you. It's the moment when she realizes she's made a mistake, and it stings because she knows she can't go back and change it. What you've done is far more powerful than any grand gesture, any desperate plea for her to come back. Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, taught that no one can harm you unless you give them power over your mind. And by pulling away, you've proven that principle. You've taken back your time, your energy, your emotional clarity, and most importantly, you've reminded her of something she'd forgotten. Respect isn't earned by chasing, it's earned through restraint. The very boundaries you've set, the silence you've chosen, speak louder than all the words you once used to justify your feelings. And here's the kicker. Those qualities that she dismissed before, now in their absence, they appear rare and valuable. You may have thought she took your calm demeanor for granted, but now, when she reflects on old conversations, she realizes how different you were from everyone else. She notices the thoughtfulness in your words, the composed tone she never truly appreciated until now. In her mind, the past and the present collide, and she begins to see you in a completely new light. And here's the most important part. It's not just that she misses you, it's that she respects you again. The way you carried yourself, steadfast and true to your own masculine energy, has made her see you in a new way. She compares your absence to the endless stream of messages and empty compliments from others. All those guys who text nonstop offering flattery, they don't stand a chance. They don't have what you have. They're not rooted in themselves the way you are. Respect isn't something you demand. It's something you make her feel, and right now, she's feeling it because your absence has created space for her to realize your true value. This is the turning point. This is when she misses you the most. It's not just about longing or wanting you back. It's about realizing that she didn't truly respect you until now. She once thought she could have you at her convenience, no matter what. But now, she sees the high-value man who doesn't bend, who doesn't crawl back, and most importantly, who doesn't lose his dignity for anyone. That man, the one who maintains his integrity and stands firm, is far more attractive than the one who begged. The man who stays true to himself is unforgettable. And ironically, by walking away, you've become the very man she wishes she hadn't pushed away. So remember this. A high-value man doesn't chase after respect or validation. He attracts it by being rooted in his masculine energy, by understanding that his worth is not up for negotiation. Don't settle for being the one who needs approval. Be the man who can walk away with his head held high, because when you do, you'll remind her of your worth, and that's when she'll miss you the most. 8. The mystery she can't decode. The mystery she can't decode is what leaves her captivated. Every unanswered message becomes an enigma. She'll reread the words she sent, looking for some slip, some flaw in her tone or timing that could explain the silence. She scrolls back through old conversations, hunting for signs of a change, desperately searching for anything that might offer an explanation for why your voice has suddenly fallen silent. But the more she searches, the less she finds. That's the paradox. Your silence doesn't give away any clues. In its absence, the mystery deepens. And this is the turning point. When you are always available, always quick to respond, she never had to wonder. She knew that with a single message, she could summon you, that you'd be there, ready to chat, ready to give her attention. But now, that certainty is gone. She sends a text and expects the familiar ping of your reply, but instead, minutes stretch into hours. She posts a photo designed to catch your attention, but you remain still, unresponsive. And in that absence, something shifts within her. Her control starts to slip away, and the curiosity that once fueled her thoughts begins to morph into longing. A stoic man thrives in this space, unshaken by the noise of others' expectations. He doesn't need to explain, justify, or prove himself. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That's what you embody when you choose silence. Your calm detachment isn't an attempt to punish her. It's a demonstration of self-control and inner peace. You understand that what you can control is your energy, your discipline, and your growth. But she spirals in confusion, not knowing how to deal with the absence that was once a given. Think about how powerful that shift is. Yesterday, she could predict your every move, every reply, every gesture. She could count on your presence like clockwork. But today, she has no idea what's going on in your world. The uncertainty gnaws at her. Her imagination fills the silence with questions. Is he with someone else? Has he moved on? Does he even think about me at all? Each question stings because no answer comes. The silence remains unbroken, and the more she tries to decode your mystery, the more she realizes how much she misses the certainty you once gave her. This is the turning point when missing you becomes heavy. It's not when you're pleading for her attention, not when you're chasing after her time. It's when your stillness becomes undeniable. That stillness is your strength. Seneca once wrote, "It is not the man who is too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." By no longer craving her attention, you show her something rare, a man at peace with himself. And ironically, it's that peace, that self-governance, that makes her restless. The mystery she can't decode becomes the mirror of her own choices, and in that reflection, she feels the loss more deeply than ever before. This is the turning point when she misses you the most. Silence doesn't just leave her wondering, it leaves her remembering. She remembers your presence, your steadiness, and the rare calm that she now realizes she can't replace. The psychology tricks here are simple, yet profound. Women are drawn to men who are emotionally steady, who maintain their sense of self, and who don't need their validation to feel whole. This is the very core of female psychology. It's the magnetic pull of a man who understands the dynamics of how to fall in love, not by chasing, but by embodying self-control and emotional independence. You must recognize that this silence is a powerful tool, a symbol of your value as a high-value man. The more you embody your own strength, the more she will reflect on the contrast between your peace and her own restlessness. It's in this quiet that she realizes what she's been missing all along. Your presence, your consistency, and your ability to stand firm in your own sense of worth. It's something that can't be replaced. And in that realization, she begins to miss you more than ever before. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with anyone who might benefit, and subscribe for more content like this. Make sure to turn on notifications so you never miss another video. And hey, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you have any feedback or want to discuss the topic further, feel free to leave a comment below. Your opinion matters, and I'm always open to hearing what you think. Until next time, stay strong, stay focused, and remember, you hold the power to turn any situation in your favor.